So the party's at 6, you're saying? No, I don't like parties. People scare me. I need to add about 10 meters to that. Alright, I've got the Multiplus here as well, but it's really heavy. If I got some line on board, I'll see if I can create a sling around it. If I can, I'll bring it out and hook it up to there and bring it up and swing it over. For now, the isolation transformer is the heaviest thing I'm going to try to get up there. I've already fallen off the ladder once. I'd rather not do it again. Ooh, this might be perfect. This is the line I used for hauling up my server rack up my stairs. A bit thicker than I would want, or than I need, but the alternative is this nylon stuff, which is really small. Probably strong enough, but I'm worried it's slippery and the Multiplus might slip out. I'll try lashing the isolation transformer first. Not so much that I need to do it with the isolation transformer. I could probably strong arm it, but it'll be good practice. I think you're only seeing my knees, if anything. Now, I'm always trying to remember my Bowline. Oh, son of a bitch, I think I got it on my first try. That's kind of frightening. I am totally just winging this right now, and you can't even see what I'm doing. Oh well, probably better. The comments would eat me alive. That's not a knot. You call yourself a sailor? I don't yet, to be clear, but this is just turning into a joke now. Now, this is why I wanted to do this with something I don't care about, because I knew I was going to cock this up, and oh boy, how have I cocked this up. Oh my god, what a joke that is. I think this falls into the if it's stupid but it works, it's probably still stupid. Cleaned up my shame. A long time ago, one of my YouTube friends, before I even got started with this, was saying, if it doesn't happen on YouTube, it didn't happen. And I've been slow to make videos lately, and I fear that's going to lead a lot of folks into thinking not much is happening. And that is not the case. Oop. Now, I've never done this kind of a knot before. I'm doing it with this, A, because if the worst happens and it gets broken, this is cheaper than the Multiplus. But B, it's in a box, so if it falls, I've got a better chance it won't be damaged. Of course, the ideal thing would be to not let it fall in the first place. How does this work? I'm sure the folks here who are very good at knots are like, just do X. And if you were here, I would happily take your advice. One of the many, many things I still need to learn is better knots. Okay. That seems like it'll work. Okay, you know what, no, don't say anything, don't jinx yourself. Okay, you know what? That worked really well. Okay, I gotta untangle this knot, but yeah, I'm tickled with that. I need to start a garbage bag. I feel like I'm back on the boat. I mean, I technically am, but you know what I mean. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm not making any sense. So I find myself in an interesting position. Don't sit on the phone. I had started to pull apart the old Multiplus compact that I used to use to provide AC onto the boat and to charge the 12-volt batteries. That needs to come out now. I've started the process, but now I'm going to bring you back so you can see the rest of it. Harsh shadows, long nose. Don't sit on my phone, god damn it. Everything's obviously dead right now. I need to now take this out because I'm going to mount the isolation transformer there, and then I've got to bring the compact in and put it here. I don't think the compact's going to fit. This is the nav station AC outlet. I thought that it went to here and then further on to the head all the way down to the V-berth, but it doesn't. This is its own little branch. So I can take this out and I only lose one outlet, and that'll give me more space here for putting in the Multiplus, which I'm going to need all the space I can get for. So I need to get, all of the wires have already been disconnected from the bus bars. The only thing on the bus bars right now is that battery, and the one little red wire is the bilge pump. Oh, there's a ground on there that I need to chase. I know one ground feeds this panel. It's this old, rigid, horrible wiring. I don't know where the other ground goes. I need to chase that. But that's what I'm going to be doing now. I don't know where I can put you so that you can actually see what I'm doing without getting in the way. Well, let's see what I can try. Oh, little compact, you served me well for a long time. There we go. This beefy wire served me well. I'm glad to get rid of it though. This thing was such a lifesaver on the trip home. It cost me $400 US used, and it was the best money I've spent. Well, not the best, but it's definitely up there. Rare is the day you remove Victron gear from a boat, I must say. I'll bring you back before I start mounting the new equipment. Sitting on an engine, very comfortable. I have got a bit more done. I figured I'd bring you back because I am ready to start doing some stuff with Victron shit. And wanted to show you that. Actually, before I do that, I'll show you what I've done so far. So I've got 2 of the circuit panels still connected. The third panel is now there, and this panel is in the bag of waste somewhere over there. I am trying to get this box off so I can take it with me to take it home. I'm going to rebuild this box, but I'm going to carry it. I don't know if I'll carry it all the way. It is nice having a little recessed area here, but the back is so chewed up, I might just bring it all the way across and call it a day. In any case, I want to take this home so I can use it as a template to start making the new box. I've got to mount the auto voltage transformer, isolation transformer, and focus. And I've got the Multiplus up. I love that winch thingy so much. So I've got to get these 2 into here. Am I going to get them wired today? I don't know. The sun is, well, I'm not going to point you right at the sun, but I've only got a couple of hours of sun left. One of the things I have to have working before I leave is the bilge pump, which there's the switch down there. I have it wired now directly into the bus bars, and as of right now, the only things on these bus bars are the battery and the bilge pump. Everything else is disconnected. So right now there is no way to charge the boat at all. Once the sun goes down, there's no way to turn on the lights, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to change this breaker. The wires that were here were like 6 gauge or 8 gauge, and they were garbage. So I've got the breaker now. That is the new 100 amp breaker, but I need to run new 4 gauge wire, and I'm not going to worry about cutting that today. So that's why I'm kind of rushing, because once I lose the sun, that's it, it's dark in here. I need to take this out because the back of it is what the Multiplus was pushing against. And this Multiplus is wider than that Multiplus, so I have to get rid of that in order to fit the Multiplus-II in. And there we go. One very old Bakelite electrical box. Kind of funky. I had the punch-out idea. Never seen one of these before. Anyways, it was a shared wire with going to the other outlets on the starboard side, so I just cut it short. It'll be fine for the time being. That is undone, so I need to get it into the lazarette so I can get it out of the way. Where could I put this? Oh, you know what? If I put it down, is it going to be in my way if I put it across the sleepers? One of the biggest motivators right now is every time something gets installed, or I get cleaned up and I can move it out of the way, I get more space in the boat. And I'll tell you, that's a luxury right now. Oh, right. I had messed up the grounding wires. I said I was going to fix that this time. I think I mentioned it in the early video when I first played with this. The manual that it ships with, garbage. The PDF you can download, much better. It's the first time I've ever seen that from any company. Kind of surprising that it came from Victron that way. They're usually very good about that kind of stuff. Oh, trying to do this around the damn engine. There we go. Back when I first got the boat, there was a battery charger up there. Really funky old one with like needles and everything. So I'm going to mount the auto transformer there. Oh, that smells orange. Okay, that's clean enough. Because I was dumb, I forgot to bring my drill. It means I'm going to have to hand screw this in with that stubby little screwdriver. I don't know how high I have to put that. There we go. I should raise it up some. I don't want to bump into this rail. I don't know if you can see that. But I need to leave room for the cables as well. Let's try that right there. Oh, hello! I'm going to put non-skid against this hull, so if I'm working in here in the future, it's not such a pain in the arse. God damn, that's heavy. Okay. I need to find the screwdriver now. If this proves too difficult, I'm stopping here and I'll come back with the drill later. I'll at least give it a try. Oh, fuck yeah. You know what? This is not going to work. Okay. I'm just going to bring everything inside and I will come back with a drill next time. And if it seems like I didn't actually give it a try, as soon as I put the tip to it, it just started sliding. And to try to push in hard enough to cut through that, it's not worth it. I have to do 7 screws for this and I have to do the same number for the Multiplus. That was fun. This feels absolutely lightweight by comparison. So there's still some water in here and it is cutting out those limber holes, but now it should go down under here, through here, and not actually touch either of these. I am knackered. Good night. Back on the boat, and I remembered the tripod this time. The #1 priority right now is getting the Multiplus-II and the isolation transformer going because as I sit here, it is 4:30 and I have no electricity on the boat at all. Anyways, let's get started. Also, I bought my first stuff of resin and fiberglass. Holy crap, that stuff's expensive. God, wow. I walked out of the chandlery almost $500 poorer. Now, to be fair, I got some build choses too, but still, good Lord. Hello through the circuit breaker panel. The higher I make this, the easier it is to swing over and drop on, but the lower it is to get the wires in and out. That's where I originally said I was going to do it. I think I'm going to try cutting up just a wee amount. I'm going to put a piece of tape on this. It's a silly thing, but my grandfather, he died like 20 some years ago, but every now and then I do this, and it reminds me so much of him. There's not much that I would say him and I have visually in common, but that stupid grin is one of them. Take your memories where you can get them, right? Now I've got a flag for the depth. Oh, what an awkward place to be working. I thought about getting a level, but I also don't see a point on a boat. I am trying to get this distance to be about the same. I think that's as good as I can get. Okay. The best thing about buying something new is it looks perfect when you install it. Damn it, that was close. Not close enough. I can get this side over that, but I can't get the other side over. If I can prop that up. All right, well that's gonna be the finished height. Well, no, it's not. I gotta get it up a fair bit. Oh, damn it, that was close. Don't skip leg day, kids. Or arm day, I suppose. It's both at the moment. I'm gonna go and think about this for a minute. I went around and found a bunch of scrap wood, and I'm just going to try to lift. It really wants to focus on that. I'm going to keep trying to lift and slide pieces of wood underneath it until just work it up. Oh, that's not, oh shit, the whole thing's going to fall. Oh, did I get it high enough? Almost. If that's not high enough, I have to move the support down. Okay, it'll fit. It just fit underneath these bolts here. Shall leave that in case it falls. Oh no, it's freely hanging now. All right, that feels pretty good. So now I'm gonna put the 2 underside screws in. Oh, it is not looking new anymore. The poor case took a beating. All right, so the very first thing to do is let's lock that down. I cannot tell you how awkward this is. Okay, that went at an angle, but whatever. Oh shit, stripped it. Okay, this one can still get purchased. No, I am just destroying that. Don't try to power drill when you don't have the right bit. You end up looking like a dumbass on YouTube. I don't suppose you can see a thing I'm doing. Okay, that one's home. Let's see if I can get this stripped one out. Okay. I need to replace it, but at least I got it out. Good enough. Okay, I am going to think and rest. There we go. It's dark because it's raining. I made a... It's so come back in here. I made a cardboard cutout that's the size of the MP2, and I have to decide now where to put it. But I'm thinking right about there. That is going to completely cover this, but that's fine. I kind of expected that. Okay, I need to get this out of the way first. The other trick too is I need to figure out where to mount this so the same issue, I can bring it up and drop it on, being my... Ow, that was a huge sliver in my hand. I need to figure out where these are, or where this is going to go on this, and for that I need to flip over the MP2, which you can't see right now. Sorry about that. That was a big sliver. That's where that's going to go. I need a measuring tape so I can measure how far down that is to the holes from the top. Does it stop raining? It stopped raining enough. Okay, so the top hole is, I'm gonna say 85 millimeters. 85? Yeah, I'd say about 85 millimeters. Because that's not plugged, I'm going to lose 2 of my holes if I put it up higher. Okay, so I may have no choice but to put this down lower. That's the hole right there. There's so many holes here, I don't want to lose it, so... There, now I know which one it is. I need to go figure out where I put the screws for this. I cannot find the screws for the Multiplus-II. So I'm going to head off to the Home Depot and see what I can scrounge up. It's getting dark. There's no way I'm getting done before the light goes down, so I'm gonna have fun tonight. But I found the closest I could get. It's like 818 stainless. I mean, at least it's not iron. When I find the right screws, I'll swap them out at some point. Actually, I need a sweater. It's actually starting to get a bit cool now. The screws I got are a little bit smaller than the ones that came with the unit, but they're pretty close. Now for the next big heavy lift of the day. Oh fuck, sliding down this hall is so annoying. Never complain about a situation you get yourself into, so I need to shut the hell up. I did this to myself. You get to see me grunt. You get to see me actually hang this thing. Hopefully, maybe. This entire top thing is just a giant coil, and it weighs ass ton. Oh, Victron, those handles on the side would have been real handy right now. Okay, I got my leg under it to keep it from sliding. Okay, this corner is bumping enough that I don't think I could get that off, and it's not sitting right. I have to take this off and raise it up. Oh well, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. I would say this is a two-person job, but I don't know where the hell you would put, the second person. Actually, I'm gonna come inboard just slightly too. These screws are sticking into the nav station. I'll figure something out to make that look prettier later. Okay, it's partially, it's still bumping against that. How is that possible? I raised it a solid inch and it's still hitting down here. I guess it's gonna be a case of third time's the charm, maybe? Oh, bollocks. Okay, well at least I can take a second to rest and regroup. So, I have a fair bit of space here, which I would like to keep for running wires. This board that covers the back, I'll have to make a new one, but I've still got plenty of meat. And the whole thing is kind of, well, no, maybe it is kind of lined up. I have to take this off again. You know what, I've got all of this space here. I might just raise it a solid 2 or 3 inches. However much I can without running into this hole being a problem. All right, well, put the drill back in. And get ready to do it all a third time. I can't go much higher, or these two are gonna come into this hole. I can't come over this way, because then the side will block access to this back panel. And I can't go that way far enough. I should scarf in a new piece, but obviously that's not gonna happen right now. I'm absolutely Swiss cheesing this bulkhead. It's about as high as I can go there. Oh, it's getting dark out fast. Suddenly got the kids in the hall back in the 80s or 90s. They had a skit that had to do with Kraft dinner, ketchup, and tapeworms. For some reason that just randomly came into my head and now it's stuck in my head. Feeding our tapeworms. Well, what Canadians consider humor. And it was grade A humor. I fucking love Kids in the Hall. All right, please, 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 for work this time. Son of a bitch. I don't know how physics allows for this, but it is still pressing against that. The only real option now would be to come this way, but now I'm blocking here if I do that. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to get this off and just see, is it a pain in the ass but it still comes off, or is it like totally not? Ah! The Quattro was fatter, but it was squatter. Quattro would have fit. It's just gonna be more of the same, and until I get this stuff working, I have no way of recharging the batteries. So I'm gonna call it here. I'll bring you back when I'm on to wiring or something, but I just need to start preserving my batteries. So I know you can't really see, actually use this drill. It clears, and it clears. So I was able, when I came over this way, 3 centimeters, it put the screw that was up to the left of the hole, so I could go higher, and the bottom one was just under the hole. So all 5 screws are mounted. Now I need to start popping this off and putting those bolts in to secure it. Okay. Back to battery savings mode. And good morning. So I did a thing last night to be able to recharge the cameras and the mics and everything. Structural zip ties! It's not much, but it got me charged up over the night. So obviously that's coming right back apart tonight, or today. I would like to keep this area for the 2 48-volt bus bars. So I'm gonna try to keep this clear for now. God, I wish I could repaint this. Oh, in time. I forgot that these screws were angled down. It's gonna make it even harder to get that one out. Thankfully, I I've got my 90-degree tool that I keep going on and on about how much I love. Oh, bollocks. Shit. It's silly, but it works. Haha! I win. It is officially getting warm enough to take the sweater off. That's better. Well, now I'm actually a bit chilly. It's right on that cusp, you know? Okay, first things first, I'm going to mount this because I don't like that. That makes me nervous. Oh, bollocks. My drill doesn't fit inside that. Let's drill this by hand. I was using, can you focus? I was using taper heads before, but now I want a pan head because that's flat. So I had to find a couple different screws. Okay, that's solid now. There we go. Now I need to start thinking about wiring, but for that I gotta pull apart the AC panel. This panel is not going to be the right one. So you see how this is like a 3-pole pan? It breaks the, how does that work? You got the ground, the neutral is bonded to ground. Yeah, so this here has, so that has one switch to break all 3 poles. And the breaker I have has 2 switches. So I may see if I can swap this out for one that's got holes all the way down. I need to figure that out and then start swapping out all of these 20 amp breakers. This one down here is brand new, so it's fine. But these 4 need to be replaced. And I got the polarity light there. All right, I need to go think for a minute. Had a little break with reality. And now I'm ready to get back to work. So it goes hot, neutral, ground. And the polarity light goes from ground to neutral. Okay, so that's how that makes sense then. So if for whatever reason the neutral has power, it creates a circuit to ground and that polarity light lights up. Yeah, that makes sense, that's easy enough. Now as far as I know, these breakers are all just perfectly fine. But I can see already that some of the wires are not tinned. I'm just gonna take everything off this panel. So the output of the main breaker is what's going to go to there. So you know what? I'm going to leave this as the emergency disconnect for the shore power because that is breaking the shore power and it's already right here. This is not big enough. This is not big enough at all. Okay, well, one issue at a time. Where is the new breaker? So there's the new breaker. It doesn't break the ground, but I don't see a reason to worry about that because the grounds are bonded here. The only thing that this connection was used for was bonding. Oh, that went to there. Oh, this is why I take pictures. Yeah, okay, so only the neutral went to that of the third leg of the breaker. So at that point, so when I turn on this main breaker, it bonds neutral to ground, which I don't think I need to worry about. Yeah, so I can use this one just fine. There's only so much exciting about me pulling apart the panel. I'm going to turn off the cameras and listen to some music. All right. It's not new condition, but it is a lot better. What I've decided to do for now, this will not be permanent, is I'm going to use the lower 2 for the main breaker. I needed a 30 amp breaker for the galley, which I could put up here and just leave this here, but that only leaves me then 3 circuits. But if I put it down here as the main breaker, well, I could just extend the wires to the polarity here. That might work, you know? At least then it's at one of the extremities. Yeah, you know what? I think that might be the way to do it, and I'll just extend these wires. Okay, I'm gonna start to put this back together. Again, I'm gonna save some battery, so I'm gonna turn that off, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to start running some wires into it. Can you see this? Yeah. So I've got the main breaker on down below. So this is gonna break the shore connection going to the inverter charger. And then out of the inverter charger comes into the Multiplus, and out of the Multiplus goes to the RCD, and then the RCD interrupts the power coming into here, which means really I need these 3 for the RCD connection as well. So this could just become main and RCD, but then I have to use my last 12 volt panel, but it says 12 volt, not 120. So for today, just to get power back, I'm not going to worry about that because I don't even have the RCD in. I'm still waiting for it from back order. So I'm going to put the other breakers in. I'm not going to put the labels on. I'll know what they are. And I just need to get power back on the boat. So that's what I'm going to focus on. That is the old shore power wire. I don't know quite how I'm going to route it at this point because these screw holes here were the back plate for this. You say, hello. That's Andrew. So if I run the wires here, I got to be careful not to make that a pain in the arse. I suppose I could have it come around like that, drop down, and then loop up and go in. Kind of like that. That would probably work okay. Thank you. Now, generally, do you put the top or the bottom as the hot? I took a picture for this reason. It doesn't functionally matter, but it's like putting your screw slots straight up and down to show that the person who did it knew what they were doing, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I like to pretend. Black was the top. No, that's upside down. Black was the bottom. So one thing I'm not too terribly keen on is, I mean, it gives me lots of surface area. Oh, geez. It almost doesn't fit. I got the right size hole, but the outside is too big. Now, let's see if I can make this work. Oh yeah, it fits. Just barely, and I don't like how much of a gap there is here. But, that's okay. I'll make it work. Oh, it is nice having someone to grab things so I don't have to keep jumping in and out. So the way the polarity light works, and I just figured this out myself today, is that normally you want the line 1 neutral and then ground. So you put this on the neutral and you tie the other end to ground. So if the polarity is reversed and this is acting as the neutral, now I've got a connection, or I've got a circuit from neutral to ground, and that light lights up. Really simple. I don't know why I didn't think of that's how they did it before. But anyways, I learned it and maybe you just did too. It's gonna be a bunch more of this. I'll bring you back when there's something interesting. I need to preserve batteries. Okay, so I did some thinking with Andrew and came up with an idea that I'm not a big fan of, but I don't think I have an option. And that is, somewhere I have to mount the RCD. So this is gonna break the connection coming from the shore power to the isolation transformer. This is going to provide the residual current detection, ELCI protection, and it's a 3-pole. So this panel is going to be just the main breakers. This here I can put a 30 amp in and feed this sub panel. Now, this, I bought 2 of these when I ordered the spares from the wrecker who pulled apart boats. One was the right size, one, as you can see, is shorter. There we go, that's a better view of it. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is put a 30 amp in here and run that over to this as though this is a sub panel, and I will set this back here. So you can see where the screws came through for mounting the Multiplus-II. So I'm gonna put a false wall here, build this out a little bit. There's the hinge for this. So I've got all of this space back here as just storage. I'm gonna have to come up with a way to cover this, and there's no way I can do it to match this because this is actually CNC milled out. But by being set over and back, the difference in size won't be noticeable, and if I have to do something to hide this, it won't be as noticeable either. It's not an ideal solution, but it's what I have to work with. So main breakers, DC, AC circuits. Off the spool, I am setting up my ring terminals to connect to the output side of the main non-RCD breaker. I've got to come up with a better long-term way of working in here. Might, once I get over my fear of fiberglass, I might put a little seat right there. That would be nice. Just, it wouldn't have to be much, like, you know, 10 centimeters. Just something I could rest on. Okay, that's on tight. Now, the previous breaker panel bonded the neutral and the ground, but I'm going to do that back at the inverter charger. I have to look at my draw.io, but I think I bonded it back at the isolation transformer. Yes, that's where it's bonded, in the isolation transformer. So I have the shore power in, going to that side. Grounds are bonded. And the shore power out goes to here, which goes to the spool, which I have to run to the inlet of this. This is the grommet for the input side of the auto transformer. Sorry, I'm starting to get tired now. I've got some ferrules crimped onto it. It's kind of junky at this moment, but I've got the zip tie holding this in. So this is how it will be in the finished version. I'll probably pull that in with something, but anyways, this will come over. There you go, and I'll dress that up in a bit. It is the day the next. I ended up not getting anything else done last night. Shortly after I turned off the camera, I went to the head and ran into a really nice old man who, well, old man, 60s I think, who he bought his first trawler. There's a saying that all sailors end up on trawlers, and that was his. We ended up chatting, oh God, from around sunset till about 1:30 in the morning. I was kind of thinking, I should be working on the boat. But then I remembered the whole reason I'm doing this is to travel around the world and meet interesting people. This guy was an airline pilot. He used to be a pilot for commercial vessels to bring them in and out. He's owned like 10 sailboats, sailed all over. So yeah, we swapped stories well into the night, and it was a good reminder of what this is all about. Now, it's the next day, and I'm still don't have shore power to charge up my 12-volt battery, so let's get back to it. I ran out of shrink tubing. I'll have to buy some more. So for now, what I did is I just put some tape over the neutral line on the input to act as a barrier between the ground and the hot. There's a gap, so it'd be fine. I'm just being paranoid. Excuse me, hiccuped. And now I need to connect the output from the isolation transformer to the input of the Multiplus. It's gotten hot in a hurry, so found a hat. I mean, I've given them enough money, I might as well get a hat out of it, right? Anyways, let me show you what I've done. Same thing as before, I don't have any shrink tubing, so I just wrapped the middle one to make sure there's no insulation. The out comes down here and in through here. I was originally going to use these, but they're so big they don't make a grip on it, so I just cut a bit of the rubber out of these grommets. This one's going to be for the CAN bus, or the VE bus, whatever they call it, connection. And the output, I ran out of ferrules, so I used the old wire that I used to use from the compact going to the circuit board. It's kind of grimy, but whatever, I'll replace it later. What I wanted to bring you back for is verifying that I've got the isolation transformer connected properly. So off the bat, the neutral and the ground should currently be bonded on the input side. And if I pull this jumper, they should no longer be connected. And they are not. So that confirms that the neutral to ground bonding is working here. Because I'm on the shore and I've got this connection made, the grounds between the ship and shore are connected. And if I pull this out, ship and shore should no longer be connected. And that's how I'll be when I'm on when I'm in the water. There's two there. I gotta remember which one I want to plug into. No, that's the storage one. The manual isn't super clear about that. There we go. Oh, it's getting hot. So now I know the isolation transformer is good. I can close it up, and then I can turn my attention to this. I can't really turn it on because I don't have any batteries to plug in. Oddly, the battery cables will probably come this way, but even the 4 gauge is too big. I could use these two for the 4 gauge and use this one for the data cable and just not use these ones, or put the data cable through here because it's not that important. I'll see, I'll decide. Now with this coming out, going to the panel, it's time to move back inside. I am going to try to light up only one more circuit today. Well, maybe 2 circuits. I'd like to get some AC running again so I could plug my laptop in. But the most important one is I'm going to get the IP43 plugged in and running again. So I think what I'm going to do is light up the quarter burst, which I know is good for 20 amps. I'll put the 15 amp in and I'll use that for powering the IP43 so I can start charging my 12 volt battery again. Off is to that side. Okay. Line, load. Normally you put one of these bars along the positive of all of the breakers, but because I've only got 2 breakers here, that would leave this much sticking out the end, and that's going to be live at 120 volts. I don't want to do that. This is out from the Multiplus. Oh, I have to run a jumper for the neutral to here. So I'm going to run a jumper from the neutral to here, and I'm going to run a jumper for the hot to go from pin to pin, and I'll just stack this one on the first connection and then jumper over to the second one, and that'll get me through for now. Harsh shadows. So that took a few tries to get right, but I think I've got it. I'm going to tell you what I did, partly as a way to cross-check myself. I can't use my label maker because I need to plug it into the wall. So I've just got some masking tape with an indicator of which of the wires works. I was getting them all confused. The shore power's neutral goes to the neutral side of the 2-leg main breaker, and the hot goes to the hot side of the 2-leg main breaker. Coming off the neutral is the polarity indication light. I don't think this is going to work, and the reason is the output goes to the ground, which is on the other side of the isolation transformer. Now, it will work while I'm on the hard. It will not work when I'm in the water because I break the ground connection. So this is going to have to be reworked to tie into the ground. Now, originally I had this ground coming to here, but then I realized, wait a second, that is completely bypassing the whole purpose of having an isolation transformer. So the ground from the shore power goes straight out to the isolation transformer input. That's where this should be tied in. So I'm going to have to get a Y splice or something. I'll worry about that later. So on the other side of the main breaker, I have to the isolation transformer in. That goes to the isolation transformer and then comes out into the MP2, and then, oh, the lighting. And then the MP2 comes out. So this neutral and this ground feed the neutral and ground bus, and the hot would normally start the bus bar, which would then connect all of these grounds. The hot comes into the first breaker, powers the second breaker, and then on the outputs of the breakers goes to the IP43 charger and the quarter berth. So if I've done it right, I can now light up the AC. I'm not going to light up the AC right now. I'm going to take a break and go get a coffee and mull over on my way to and from Timmy's to make sure that I didn't screw anything else up. I think I've got it right, but I just finished and I've been at this for over an hour, so I want to walk away and let my head go clear and then come back and I'll look at it again. So, coffee had nerves settled somewhat, and I've got this one hung up the same way I have the other one. That's mainly so it doesn't fall over because the backs are live, obviously. I have to go and plug the shore power in and put the cover back on the Multiplus. Leave the Multiplus off. That'll allow me to make sure that I can get power through the isolation transformer. It's always connected, I think, so as soon as I apply power, it should go through to the Multiplus. It might trip the breaker simply because of the caps. I don't have the pre-charge resistor. I think the AC side charges the caps. It would make sense that it did. So I might have to run out a couple of times. I don't want to plug it into the boat and then plug it into the outlet because I want to be on the boat when I apply power. So I might have to run back and forth a couple of times. Not that that's going to matter to you. Okay, let's do this. I'll be right back. The sun is really bright. I'm hoping you can see this. VE bus is connected. In theory, I have no more business in this top section. Actually, come to think of it, I had no business in this top section at all. I keep thinking of it like the Quattro, where you had to run the wires up into the main body. IDC connector, inline dual connector, I think that's what it's called. Make sure that's in good. Good and tight. Okay. 1 is on, 2 is charger only. So rolling back is charger only. But I want the full AC. But I'm going to leave it off for now, but I know now when time comes, I'm pulling it forward. Okay. Let's do the power thing. All right, so I'm going to make sure the breaker's off, and then I'll apply power, and that should light up. That should not light up until I flip the main breaker. Main breaker is off. Both circuits are off. Okay, let's plug it in. Okay, nothing there yet. It's Let's go flip the main breaker. That's not encouraging. It's not encouraging at all. Nothing. So it's one of three things. I tripped the breaker where I plug in to shore. There's an off switch or I've screwed up the wiring. So the first thing, let's see if we have shore power at all. I let the camera run out. I don't know when, but it was very recently. Okay. I checked the voltage. There's voltage going into the breaker. There's voltage coming out of the breaker. So there should be voltage at the isolation transformer. Maybe it just took a little while to come on. Let's go look. Oh, it's on. Okay, so that means I should now be able to turn this on. One is on, two is charger. So I want one, and that means rocking it forward. Watch there. Low battery, that makes sense, because there is no battery. Is it not going to give me mains until... Jesus Christ. That made me jump. So it briefly went inverter on, overload, and then shut off again, but I'm not getting inverter, low battery, but I'm on mains. So I should have power coming out now, unless it will not give me power without a battery, in which case I'm pooped. Nope. There we go. Mains on. Why is it at ball? It's trying to charge, but there's no battery. Okay, you know what? I should get my phone and program this. So let's plug the Mark III cable in, go to Victron Connect, and get the power back on. Now we wait for it to boot up again, now that I know that that's what I have to do. Ah, I see the Multiplus-II. Okay, so it's trying to do a bulk charge. Is there a way to turn off the charge? Charger, disable the charger. Okay, charger's off. I think it's a low battery, but most importantly, I got my mains on. Okay, excellent. That's all I wanted to do. The last thing I need to do now is hook up the IP43. I've already got the wire going to it, so I just need to run the output into the 12-volt bus bars and then plug it in and I can start charging my battery. So for now, I'm going to put this here beside the battery. This is obviously not going to be its long-term home, but it's good enough for now. The breaker's off, so I can plug this in. The ground wire I found has 2 ring terminals. I don't want 2 ring terminals. I want a ring terminal and a pin. So I'm going to wire this in, run it over here and down, and wherever that is, I will cut it and put a pin on it. Then I'm going to wire up the positive through my 15 amp breaker and run the positive up to here with the breaker off, and that'll keep that safe. I'm going to put some tape on this. That's negative, yep, that's negative. Okay. Okay, that's good. I remember, last time I used this, I couldn't find my ferrules, so I put a blob of solder on. I'm now going to cut that and put a proper ferrule on. There we go. I should be safe now to turn the battery back on. This is safe. What do I need to do now? Get my phone so I can log into this, because I want to make sure that I've got this set correctly. I don't remember what I was doing with it last time. Okay, the top is the charger. The wires are in the way of the lights. There's the IP43. It's in power supply mode. Let's put it into charger mode. Battery settings, it's lithium ion. Let's go to expert mode. Maximum charge current is 7.5 amps. I can do higher than that now. Why did I set it so low? Set it to 15 amps, that should be fine. Edit presets, built-in presets. All right, that should be fine actually. Okay, let's switch to the BMS. I ripped the screen off so I can't use it anymore. Okay, 0 amp. Let's plug in the charger. 2, 14 amps, 14.1 amps. Battery's it says it's at 85%. Now what do I need to do? Turn on the quarter berth and then start charging my laptop back up. And the quarter berth is alive. Hell yeah. I think I'm gonna end this video here. A lot of the projects I've been working on the boat have been do a little bit, I hit a roadblock, stop, switch to another project, do a little bit, hit a roadblock, and so on and so forth. I have a video coming which is going to be all of the strut work for the new prop shaft. I had a hell of a time getting the cutlass bearing out. That's going to be a video. I've started work on the Enemy A2000 bus. That's going to be a project. I am working on the computer controlled masthead lights. I have started work on the radio. I have a lot of things coming, and all of them in various stages of progress. So yeah, hopefully you're enjoying it and watching it, and do the YouTube thingy-majigs. It really helps. And well, if you look at my comment sections, you'll see that I generally reply to almost all the comments. Every little comment's a little hit of dopamine. I really enjoy engaging with you folks. The vast majority of you are awesome and supportive and ask good questions, and I love it. Okay, I'm the Digital Mermaid. Bye! I had to crawl in through the side door. Unbelievable. They seem to be all on the other sides of the cars. I don't know if you can see on the boat. Ew. Look at them all. Oops. Look at them all. Lake flies.